differently abled, differently.
Polio causes paralysis and even death, hence the need for awareness and prevention. Take a look at how Polio Awareness Campaign organized by Rotary District 9212 went down.
Rotary International, together with the Ministry of Health and other partners, are committed in the fight against polio.
To mitigate against polio, the world came up with an initiative, the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, which was launched 35 years ago, with the goal of eradicating polio from the face of the earth by the year 2000.
Through the years, through the efforts by governments, the partners and Rotary, we've reduced the incidence of polio from over 350,000 per year to less than 6 this year.
All the efforts that have been made to eradicate polio in this world, we've seen your efforts and we thank God that now we are approaching the finishing line. Tunaomba, we pull up our socks, we make sure we eradicate polio.
This cause strives to ensure that no child is affected by this preventable disease.
To signify the battle to eradicate the polio disease from the entire world. Over 30 years ago, Rotary International decided to make polio its #1 cause, to fight it until it's eliminated from the world. And it's achieved this with its other partners up to 99%. And that's why we say we're this close to ending polio.
The eradication of polio is evident through the awareness creation and vaccination campaigns, which have reached millions of children across the globe.
Ya kwanza, anapozaliwa. Ya pili, 6 weeks. Ya tatu, 10 weeks. Ya 4, 14 weeks. Then kuna ile ingine tunaita supplemental vaccination. Nayo tunapeana wakati gani? When we have a problem with those people who have not been vaccinated and we want to target those who have not been vaccinated, we call it supplemental vaccination. Ya pili tunatarget hiyo wakati when we have an outbreak. Kama sasa tunasema tuko na watoto 9 wenye wamepatikana na polio Garissa. We are going to give supplemental vaccination.
Hii jambo la polio. Kwanza nashukuru idara ya ministry sababu hata last 2 weeks nimeona vile wamekuwa wakifanya kwa watoto wetu ambao wako na miaka 1 mpaka miaka 5. Waliweza kupewa hiyo chanjo ya polio.
Recently, there was a resurgence in Kenya which had been declared polio free and therefore the need for more awareness.
When I think about this outbreak that you're dealing with, I keep thinking about climate change, peace and health. If we don't put effort to address the issue of peace in the region, people will continue to be displaced, and the problem in those countries which are hard to reach will keep on affecting a very fragile country like Kenya. The issues of climate change, the people who came and brought this polio were displaced by the recurrent drought. And we could not be able to provide assistance inside Somalia because of our Shabab. And they had to run away to Kenya. And that is why now we are reacting to this issue. Having put a lot of effort and now wild polio is eradicated, we are now dealing with a very small problem, vaccine-derived polio outbreak. What is the science of preventing that? Because it is beyond the regular things that we do. We will continue putting effort to ensure that every child is vaccinated or is immunized. But we also need to put effort to make sure that this mutation resulting to the vaccine-derived polio is also addressed. And then we also need to work on supporting the government effort on peace and security in the region.
Eliminating anything is a difficult assignment. It always wants to come back with a life of its own. And that's why it's important that we're dedicated at all times, right until it's gone, and a short even period after that to make sure that there's no resurgence. So we're ready and able to deal with these incidents as and when they come.
So far, this initiative has led to reduction of polio by 99% in the world. And though we missed the 2000-year target to eradicate polio, a lot has already been done. In Kenya particularly, we are in a position where we are at risk of polio. One of the reasons, we are a transport hub. Another reason, we have the refugees, a very big population of refugees. A third reason, we are surrounded by countries that have not been able to fight polio and even increase their vaccination status.
Polio is waterborne. Whilst a lot of effort is being made around the immunization, at the same time, Rotarians, efforts need to be made in providing clean water and sanitation facilities.
Polio not only causes disability but can also be fatal, especially in adults.
I have seen a case of polio in an adult, and no adult get polio can survive that easily. I remember during the last polio outbreak we had in the same Hagadera, a 21-year-old footballer who succumbed to polio because it simply paralyzed the respiratory muscles. The children, it may affect legs that you may see, but for the adults, it most likely hit the muscles of respiration, and you are likely going to die of it. And it is our responsibility to then fight the polio for our own safety, from our children to the adults.
The third strategy is to increase surveillance, yani kutafuta wale watoto wako na shida ulemavu. Wakianza kuona miguu yao imekuwa weak, hao lazima tu report. Ndio tuangalie kama kunaweza kuwa na hiyo shida.
I do remember as a young boy that a number of my friends were afflicted with polio, and I didn't know what it was. I was in a primary school like this. I thought this is the way it is. And when I went to high school, there were few of them. When I got to university, there was only one. It took me decades later to realize the effect that polio has on the victim themselves, their families, and their communities.
The Polio Awareness Day is therefore a reminder of the millions of people who have been affected by polio and continue to demonstrate resilience and strength.
Niligonjeka nikiwa na miaka kiasi, nikiwa kijana mkubwa kiasi, nikagonjeka nikashindwa kutembea, nikakocha nikawekwa support ya mguu, nikachikubali kuwa hivyo. Mara ya kwanza nilikuwa najichukia, naona mbona mimi nikawa hivi, nilikuwa najichukia sana, lakini wakati niliingia shule nikakutana na wenzangu wengine, nikachitia moyo, nikaona nikasema afadhali mimi sababu nazifanya ile.
Nimesoma kwa shule ambazo hakukuwa na watoto ambao wanaishi na ulemavu, na hiyo ilinipea nguvu sana kujielewa mimi ni nani.
Mimi nakilisha watu walio na ulemavu, pia ni community promoters. Niko na nyumba 100 natembelea kwa kijiji. Siku ya leo ni kuja kuelimisha hata walemavu wenzangu, niwaambie kitu kama ukiwa mlemavu utafanya kitu, sio kukaa chini uanze kuombaomba. Naona kama ingawa mimi ni mlemavu natembelea nyumba 100, naandika report, naenda kwa county.
We meet every year so that we can reinvigorate our membership, recharge our members, make communities aware of the need to continue the fight right to the very, very end. And so I'm very happy to be here in St. Catherine's Primary School in South B with members of Rotary, members of the community, our partners, members of government, members of the ministry, to have a day of solidarity, a day of rededication, and what a successful one it has been.
We take a short breather, but we'll be right back with more. Stay tuned.
We're differently abled, differently.